So today we're going to talk about more planting and specifically the crop rotation, and we're going to start off by talking about the free fertilization layer you get if you do quote-unquote the perfect plant. That is when you have just the right crop rotation, you end up with a bonus fertilizing layer, and that's what we've got right here when we're putting in our soybeans. So you can see we've got 50 degrees now. It is late spring, and if you look here, see we can plant soybeans in late spring. We are at 50 degrees Fahrenheit ground temperature, which is what we need. And if we look at our crop rotation, if we look at our crop rotation, you can see we get a bonus for planting soybeans. We get a bonus for planting barley. We get a bonus for planting canola, and then we do fallow, and then we start over. Well, this field was fallow. Now we're putting in soybeans, and if we look at the fertilize information, you can see we are at 33% or one stage fertilization. But when we get over here to the planted area, we are at 66% fertilization. That is because we are getting a bonus fertilization layer as a result of simply planting our crop. Go over here, you'll see that we now have growing wheat, and we also have a free fertilization layer over here, 66%. We didn't put fertilizer down. Our Amazon doesn't do fertilizer, that's for sure. So we're getting a bonus fertilization layer because we are doing a proper crop rotation planting. Now, let's look at the information screen. Come back here. So you can see that we are in field 24, we are in a planted state. In field 19, we are in a growing state. We've got some other fields that the AI have planted that are in a growing state. But take a look over here at field 12. Got a couple little strips on field 12 that are actually germination failed. So I wanted to show you guys those. See kind of what germination failed look like. Let's run over here to field 12. And here is a germination failed area. There's just this little strip here that just didn't plant, didn't come up. So this is how it's going to look the entire time we are basically, this field is growing this season. There will be a strip here, and there is a strip over here. It's a little less pronounced. This one is right here. It is. See, it's a little harder to see from the ground, but right here is that other strip of germination failed, and this field actually has a little bit of spotty weeds growing in it. Here is here's one of those weed patches. There's another weed patch over here. If you look at that, a couple patches over here in field 8. Field 6 has got itself a lot of weeds in it. Field 10, that grass field. 4. There you go. You can see how the weeds are kind of coming in. Went ahead and bought the grass field over here at field 20 because we are going to see about making some hay this video. Actually, so we're going to go ahead and finish planting our soybeans. I wanted to bring you guys in and show you the perfect planting, being the extra fertilization layer, so that so you see what's going on with that. Basically, now I don't have to worry about fertilizing until our crops come up. Here, our crops did come up, so I'll probably go ahead and apply a layer of fertilization over there. Over here on our soybeans, we're just going to wait until we get some growth to put our third stage of fertilizer down. And we're going to go ahead and plant this field up here in corn. going to put corn in this field, and this field we're going to leave fallow for the year. But before we go, and then we'll come back. The video's not over this quick. But before we go on to the next segment, I wanted to show you guys here under Tools and Miscellaneous, we have the return of the MT9, formerly known as the Wopster, the handheld tool. $5,000. We buy it. It is now ours to use. Basically, we just activate it like a chainsaw, point it at whatever we want to point it at. Let's point it at this field. And basically, we get the coordinates, the elevation. We're at 33% fertilized, and the ground is at 9% moisture. Let's go over here and check out this. We've got soybeans. We're at 0% growth, 29% crop moisture, 67% fertilization, and 9% ground moisture. Go check out this one. Wheat, we're at 17% growth, 29% crop moisture, 67 and 9%. Let's go ahead and jump up here. Check out the grass growth so we can see. We're at 67% grass growth, so we've got 2 growth stages in grass. We could wait a little bit and get one more growth state, so we'll get a little bit more yield out of it. But I think today might be a great time to go ahead and make some hay off of this. 29% crop moisture, 67% fertilized, and 9% ground moisture. Now, if we cut this now, we've got some pretty high crop moisture. You might want to wait a little bit and see if that number comes down later today. Because take a look at our forecast. So we've got some pretty good weather today, sunny weather, pretty good drying conditions today, high winds, very good drying conditions today. Tomorrow, cloudy weather. Not sure on the precip. There's kind of some 50% chance of rain in the afternoon, as best we can tell. 80% chance of rain on Friday. But pretty good drying conditions in the morning. I think we're going to hold out until about midday and see what the forecast looks like for tomorrow into the afternoon a little bit more, because we kind of need to think about when we can mow this to get a little bit of hay, because I want to get some animals soon so we can start talking about those. I'll be back with you once we get our corn planted and we see about what we think we're going to do with this grass. So we are at 16% grass moisture. This is perfect conditions for mowing the grass and having it turn itself into hay just over a matter of drying. The target is going to be sub 20%. So if we are over 20% crop moisture on our grass, then it is technically considered wet grass. You can see that by having the wet crop icon will be up there by the date and season. But we are now below that. So just as a matter of course, if you mow wet grass, you'll have to come over it with a tedder in order to have it dry. If you mow semi-dry grass, which is grass that is under 20% moisture, then it will turn into hay on its own. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go ahead and mow this up. You'll notice that it is coming out a little bit different colored than grass typically is. This is the semi-dry grass color. You get a dark green like normal grass would be in game if you mowed it, then you are basically getting wet grass. came up here and I tried to fertilize this, but it wouldn't take. So I'm just going to go with 67% fertilization. See, it is 12:24. We will take a look here at our forecast here in a moment. Mowing a little bit outside of the field boundary. That is pretty much because I want to get as much yield as I can out of this, because we are at sub-optimal growth. We're not at 100% grass growth at the moment. If we look at our forecast here, you'll see that we have sunny weather, like I showed earlier, excellent drying conditions. We can see up to tomorrow at 3, no rain in sight, decent drying conditions. So we should be able to get this dried into hay and up off the field before it rains again. If it does rain, well, it's no big loss, other than the fact that we have to wait more time, and we will lose probably a little bit of yield off of this, but we won't lose the crop entirely unless it just sits on here for days on end and is not able to dry itself out. I'm going to go ahead and finish up the mowing here, and we'll see what it looks like here in a few hours. So since we're dealing with grass, I thought it would be important to go ahead and make some silage bales. And I went ahead and bought this little plot of land down here. This is where we've got our cows, horses, and sheep. So we're going to be prepping for an upcoming season's animal video, where we'll talk about the changes in animals, feeding habits, feeding requirements, feeding techniques, and the sort. But in order to do that, we're going to need silage bales. Over here, we're wrapping up some grass. Load this area down here a little bit. We use our tool. We can see we have 3,987 liters of grass. So grass bales start to go away right away. We have 3,990 liters of grass in here, and we have 24 hours to go until it is fully fermented. So silage bales require one seasonal transition to ferment. This also holds for silage in a bunker. Put silage in a bunker, it's going to take one transition to basically go into silage. So what does that mean? What is one transition? One transition would be moving from late spring to early summer, moving from early summer to mid-summer. Okay, so depending on the season duration that you have selected, be it 3-day seasons, then 1 day is a transition. Be it 6-day seasons, then 2 game days is a transition, all the way up to 24-day seasons, at which 8 days is a transition. So imagine if you were playing 24-day seasons. Okay, that is the extreme. It would take 8 game days for these silage bales to go from grass to silage. It would take 8 days for chaff or grass put into a bunker and blanketed to convert to silage. So that's where the planning and thought process comes in. So your animals are going to need to be fed every day. So you're going to have 8 feedings between when you mowed this grass and wrapped it till when it would be available for feeding. 8 feedings. So you got to make sure you've got enough food on hand in order to basically keep your animals fed. Because if you don't feed them, they will die at night. So that's something else that's important to remember. If you don't feed them, they will perish. Just going to go ahead and finish wrapping up these bales, and then I'll go over and check out our grass field and see where it might be in the drying process. And as you can see, we have ourselves some hay on the field. Now, just for the sake of brevity and everything, I did not film the windrowing of the dried hay, but well, you can see, and you're just going to have to trust me that I did not in any way sneak up here with a tedder and ted this. It is 8 p.m. In late spring, so you can see how the wonderful lighting is working perfectly. Those that are used to seasons in 17 know that basically it gets dark later in the day. Obviously, the closer you are into summer, and then you start getting into autumn, and it starts getting darker earlier. But maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll see it transition into a little darker times. What I did off camera was I actually put down the pig and the chicken area down at the main farm. Finished doing some terraforming, painting of grass at the horse, cow, sheep areas, just to make them look a little bit better. And just so that we could pad our bank account a little bit, I actually did a contract, a seeding contract, up on field 13 to give us a little bit more money. So that's basically what we've done since I stopped wrapping the bales. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll be honest with you guys, I have a hard time telling the visual color difference between semi-dry grass and hay. Okay, so I honestly don't know when this field was ready. I had to sneak down here with which I did. I snuck down here with a wheel loader and basically put a little bit in the bucket just to see what the fill type said. Just to see if it said grass or hay, because it just doesn't seem to be different enough in shading for me. So I kind of have to guess a little bit. And with the way 19 does bales now, I didn't want to accidentally put a little bit of grass in the baler and end up with a bale of grass as opposed to hay. But yeah, sometime between noon when we mowed the field and 8 p.m. The grass, the semi-dry grass, turned into hay all by itself because we had that low moisture of being below 20%. At 16% when we mowed it. And let's take a look and see where we are now. Uh, 13% grass. This does not let you measure the windrow. Boy, wouldn't that be nice if it did. It doesn't let you measure the windrow. Because then you could pretty much just come up here and it would tell you if it's grass or hay. So what we're going to do is, well, we're going to close out the night. close out the evening, seeing how many hay bales we get. And tomorrow, which will be the first day of summer, I think we're going to do a video on the animals. I think we'll buy a couple animals of each and basically talk about the feeding of them and show you guys some of the season's specific items related to animals. So we'll do that in the next episode of this how-to guide that we're kind of doing a. I was thinking about it earlier. Kind of doing a how-to let's play, aren't we? Anyway, it works, right? So when we come back tomorrow, episode 4, we'll talk about animals and all of the fun stuff related to them. So let me know in the comments what you think of the of Seasons. Though it's not released yet, coming very, very soon. This should be episode 3. So this will actually come out on Tuesday. Let's say this is Seasons Eve when this video comes out. So the day Seasons comes out is when we will be talking about animals. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.